Heaven knows I tried to stay, to hold our love from slipping away. If these old tears could testify, heaven knows I tried. The coffee's cold, the morning's gray, just another quiet day. Your picture's still above the shelf, like it's waiting on someone else. I still hear your laughter sometimes, drifting through this heart of mine, like an old hymn on a Sunday breeze, bringing me down to my knees. We weren't perfect, heaven knows. We both carried heavy loads, but somewhere between the hurt and pride, love got lost along the line. Heaven knows I tried to keep your hand holding mine. I fall for every promise made, even when hope began to fade. If loving you was all I knew, then I gave my whole heart to the truth, though goodbye became our final line. Heaven knows I tried. The old church bell rang yesterday, echoing across the fields of hay, carried me back to that summer noon, when forever felt so easy to choose. We stood beneath the sky so wide, believing love could outrun time. Neither one of us could see how silence grows between two dreams. Looking back, I understand love needs more than holding hands. Heaven knows I tried to keep your heart close to mine. I swallowed words I should have said and chased the ghosts inside my head. If every scar could tell our story, we speak of love before the glory. Though the road pulled us apart with time, heaven knows I tried. I heard you smiling once again, found your peace somewhere out west. That thought still stings a little now, but mostly it brings me rest. Because love was never meant to chain or leave two hearts living in pain. Sometimes letting go with grace is the bravest thing we ever face. If I could speak to who I was, standing there with a hopeful heart, I'd say don't fear the tears ahead, they'll teach you how to love instead. Not every prayer is answered fast, not every dream was built to last, but every soul that loves this deep finds a little peace in time. Heaven knows I tried with every heartbeat deep inside. I gave you all these weathered hands and every hope I couldn't plan. Now I lift my eyes beyond the rain, thankful for the joy and all the pain, 'cause loving you changed all my life. Heaven knows I'd do it all again. Heaven knows I tried, and somehow that's enough tonight. The stars shine softly through the pines, the night grows quiet one breath at a time. I tip my hat to yesterday, whisper your name into the wind, and leave the rest in heaven's hands. I left my heart in that old town, where the church bells still ring out loud. You can leave the place behind, but home never leaves your soul. The train rolled out on a cold spring day, with a suitcase full of dreams packed away. Mama waved from the porch in tears. Daddy tipped his hat and hid his fears. I swore I'd make a better life beyond those fields and county lines, but every city light I found never shined like my hometown. You spend your youth trying to get away, and spend your years trying to find your way back. I left my heart in that old town, where love was simple and life slowed down. Down those roads where I learned my name, nothing there has ever felt the same. Every sunset paints those hills in gold, holding stories that never grow old. No matter how far these boots have gone, I left my heart in that old town. There's a little diner by the square, Miss Lucy still pouring coffee there. She smiled and said, it's been too long, like I'd only been gone till dawn. The hardware store still shuts at 5. Kids still race their bikes outside. That old oak tree beside the creek still whispers every secret we used to keep. Funny how the years can fly, but home keeps waiting without asking why. I left my heart in that old town, where every face still knows me now, where front porch lights stay burning late, neighbors never lock the gate. Every gravel road, every field of corn reminds me where my soul was born. No matter how this life goes on, I left my heart in that old town. Mama's rocking chair still gently sways, though she slowed down with the passing days. Daddy's hands are rough as stone, but they still feel like coming home. We sat together till the evening came, watching fireflies dance again. No fancy words, no grand parade, just quiet love that never fades. Maybe home isn't just a place, it's every smile, every warm embrace. It's Sunday hymns through open doors and footsteps on those wooden floors. It's learning that success ain't found in the tallest buildings in the biggest towns. Sometimes the richest life you'll know is where your deepest roots still grow. I left my heart in that old town, but somehow it was never really gone. It was waiting in the morning light and every star that filled the night. If these roads should bring me home for good, I'd stay forever if I could. 'Cause all the miles I've traveled through only led me back to what was true. I left my heart in that old town. that's where I'll be found. The sun slips low behind the pines, the church bell echoes one more time. I smile as the evening settles down, 'cause some hearts never really leave the old town they still call home. There's a mountain between our goodbyes, too high for these tired hearts to climb. You're on your side, I'm on mine, still loving you across the divide. Your coffee cup is by the kitchen sink, half a ring of brown around the edge. I haven't moved it since the morning you packed your coat and left. The hallway clock keeps losing minutes, this house don't seem to care. Every room is holding silence, like it's waiting for you there. We said words we didn't mean, then let our pride decide. Now there's more than miles between us, there's a mountain made of time. There's a mountain between our goodbyes, built from every tear we tried to hide. Every promise that we broke turned to stone beneath the sky. I can see your light from where I stand, but I can't reach out and take your hand. We were close enough to touch the stars, now there's a mountain between our hearts. I drove past the church on Sunday, where we stood in summer white. He laughed when the preacher stumbled and squeezed my fingers tight. We thought love would be nothing, like a fire that wouldn't fade. But a heart can turn to winter when forgiveness comes too late. I could blame the road or distance, I could blame the changing years, but the truth is we kept building with every word we wouldn't hear. There's a mountain between our goodbyes, built from every tear we tried to hide. Every promise that we broke turned to stone beneath the sky. I can see your light from where I stand, but I can't reach out and take your hand. We were close enough to touch the stars, now there's a mountain between our hearts. I heard you found a place near Denver with a window facing west. I hope the sunsets treat you kindly, I hope you finally get some rest. Me, I'm learning how to live here with your picture in a drawer. Some nights I almost call you, then I set the phone back down once more. Maybe mountains aren't forever, maybe weather wears them thin. Maybe someday one of us will find the nerve to start again. But tonight the moon is rising on two hearts that lost their way, and all the love we couldn't carry still echoes through the space. There's a mountain between our goodbyes, and I still dream of the other side, where your voice don't sound so far away, and I don't have to lie. Say I'm fine, say I've moved on, say I don't still play our song. But every time the evening falls, I feel that mountain standing tall. side of this lonely world. There's a mountain between our goodbyes, but I still love you across the divide. If the morning ever clears the sky and you see my light from the other side, I'll be waiting where the old road winds, beyond the mountain between our goodbyes. If peace is waiting at the end of this road, I'll keep these worn out boots moving slow. One more mile, one more sunrise to see. Maybe that's where my heart can finally breathe. Morning breaks across the hills, coffee steaming on my windowsill, an old guitar rests by the door, like it's waiting for one song more. This pickup's carried me through years, through laughter, loss, and quiet tears. Every mile has left its mark, every sunrise lit the dark. I spent so long chasing tomorrow, never knowing what I'd left behind. There's peace at the end of this road, beyond the weight I've always known, past the heartache, past the rain, past the echoes of yesterday, where the river runs quiet and slow, and the wildflowers gently grow. If I keep believing, I'll find my way to the peace at the end of this road. Mama used to tell me, son, don't let bitterness weigh your tongue. The world gets heavy soon enough, so fill your heart with simple love. Didn't understand back then, always running with the wind. Now her words come back to me like leaves dancing through the trees. Funny how the truth grows louder in the silence after the storm. There's peace at the end of this road, beyond the way I've always known, past the heartache, past the rain, past the echoes of yesterday, where the river runs quiet and slow, and the wildflowers gently grow. If I keep believing, I'll find my way to the peace at the end of this road. The old church stands weathered bell is ringing still. I pull my truck beneath the trees, close my eyes and breathe a breeze. No voice from heaven calls my name, no lightning falls, no roaring flames, just the whisper of the southern wind telling me to start again. Maybe peace is not a place to find. Maybe it's a change inside. Learning every scar can heal, learning every wound is real. The road behind shaped who I am. The road ahead is in God's hands. So I'll leave past where it belongs and carry hope instead of wrongs. There's peace at the end of this road, not because I'm not alone, but because I've learned to let go of the things I can't control. With every sunrise painting gold, I feel this weary spirit grow. Every step brings healing home. On the peace at the end of this road, I'll keep walking, come what may, with faith enough for one more day. The highway fades into the dawn. The sky turns amber, soft and warm. I tip my hat and smile at the wind, 'cause I know peace has been walking beside me all along. Your shadow in the morning light still walks beside me every sunrise. You're gone, but somehow love remains, like the dawn calling my name. The first light slipped across the floor, just the way it always had before. Your favorite mug sat by the sink, waiting for hands that wouldn't reach. The screen door sighed with the morning breeze. Birds were singing through the maple trees. For a moment I forgot you were gone, until the silence carried on. Funny how the break of day can bring the memories back your way. Your shadow in the morning light still finds me with the sunrise, like a whisper on the wind. You make this old heart smile again. Though I can't hold your hand today, your love never drifted away. Every dawn reminds me why love outlives goodbye. I drove the old truck into town, past the church and the old fairgrounds. Miss Annie asked, how have you been?
smiled and said, I'm getting there. The bakery smelled like fresh baked bread, just like the mornings that we shared. You always laughed when flour flew, saying, messes mean we're living too. I caught myself smiling alone, not because the hurt was gone, but because your joy still lived in the smallest things I did. Baby, healing isn't forgetting. Baby, it's remembering with peace. Your shadow in the morning light falls softly with the sunrise. It doesn't pull me back in time. It simply walks right by my side. The birds still sing your favorite tune. The roses bloom every June. Though heaven called you long ago, your love still helps my spirit grow. This morning I walked down to the creek where we carved our names into an old oak tree. The bark had grown around those letters, holding them through every season's weather. I placed my hand upon that trunk, closed my eyes and breathed you in. Not with sorrow, not with tears, but with gratitude for all those years. A young couple wandered down the trail, laughing the way we used to laugh. I tip my hat as they walk by and quietly wish them a lifetime of sunsets. Love doesn't disappear with distance, and it doesn't end with time. It changes into quiet strength, a gentle hand you cannot find. Sometimes it's the morning sunshine, sometimes it's the autumn breeze, sometimes it's a simple memory that brings your heart back to its knees. But every sunrise tells the same story, that love is stronger than goodbye. Your shadow in the morning light no longer fills my heart with tears. Now it shines like golden hope, guiding me through all these years. I keep walking toward tomorrow, carrying the best of yesterday, because loving you has taught me that some souls never fade away. Every dawn begins with grace, every sunrise shows your face, and until my own journey is through, I'll find a little piece of you in the morning light. The sun climbs slowly over the hills, the meadow wakes, the world grows still. I whisper good morning to the sky, smile and keep walking with your shadow in the morning light.
Roses on an empty table,
memories fade, but not your name. Some hearts never stop remembering. There's a little cafe on Willow Street where we'd steal a quiet hour each week. The waitress still remembers us. She smiles, but she don't ask too much. Your favorite chair still faces mine. Morning sunlight through the blinds. Someone left a bouquet yesterday, just like you always used to say. Flowers don't fix broken days, but they remind us love still stays. Funny how the smallest things survive long after the goodbye arrives. Roses on an empty table, still blooming in my memory. Your laughter lingers in the silence, like a song the wind won't leave. The seasons change, the years roll by, but some colors never say goodbye. Every petal whispers soft and true. I still remember loving you. I drove by the little white church today where we promised forever one spring in May. The old bell rang just like before, though our footsteps don't pass that door. Your handwriting inside my Bible, a pressed red rose between the pages. The ink has faded through the years, but somehow your heart is still here. Time can soften every scar, but it can't erase who we are. Roses on an empty table, waiting where you used to be. Every bloom tells our story in quiet shades of memory. Though the chair beside me stays untouched, I still feel your gentle love. Some flowers bloom beyond goodbye, deep inside this heart of mine. This morning I bought a single rose, not because I couldn't let you go, but because you taught me something true. Love keeps growing after you. I placed it where the sunlight falls on that old oak dining table, not for sorrow, not for regret, but for every beautiful moment we had. People think that healing means forgetting, like memories should disappear. But I believe the deepest love becomes the reason we're still here. Every goodbye plants a seed, hidden underneath the pain. And when forgiveness finds the heart, even broken gardens bloom again. Roses on an empty table, now they wear a different meaning. Not a symbol of loneliness, the joy and pain. So if you ever pass this way, you'll find one rose where we once stayed, a quiet thank you, soft and true, for every dream I shared with you. The morning light slips through the window. When red rose catches the sun, I smile instead of looking back, because love was never lost. It simply learned how to bloom in a different way.
Where the river carries sorrow, it carries hope for tomorrow. I let your name drift with the tide and watched my tears roll by. The river's been here all my life, flowing through the hills so quiet. It never asked where you've been or why your heart feels paper thin. I walk the banks at break of day, with your old ring tucked away, the morning mist wrapped all around, like heaven had come down to the ground. Grandpa always used to say, son, the water finds its way. Maybe broken hearts do too, if we learn to let them move. Where the river carries sorrow, it leaves a little hope to borrow. Every current takes the pain, so tomorrow can begin again. I watch the sunset kiss the stream, carrying away forgotten dreams, though I miss the love we knew. The river keeps reminding me of you. There's an old wooden bridge upstream where we'd stop and talk for hours. You'd toss little stones into the water, laughing as they disappeared. I stood there just the other day, listening to the bluebirds sing. The bridge looked older, so did I, but the river hadn't changed. Some things fade with passing years, some things wash away the tears. Where the river carries sorrow, it carries mercy with tomorrow. Every bend, every gentle wave teaches hearts how to be brave. Though your footprints disappear, your love still lingers here, like the current flowing free. You're forever part of me.
rocks, laughing louder than the wind. His daddy smiled the way mine did, back when life was young again. It made me see what time had done. Not everything is truly gone. Love becomes a quieter song, one you carry all along. So I reached into my pocket, pulled your silver ring once more, kissed it softly, thanked the years, then let it rest beneath the shore. Maybe healing isn't forgetting, maybe it's learning how to smile. When memories stop feeling heavy and start walking by your side. Every river finds the ocean, every night gives way to dawn, and every heart that's ever broken can still find the strength to carry on. Where the river carries sorrow, it also carries dreams tomorrow. Every ripple, every tide, help me leave the hurt behind. Now when the evening paints the sky, I don't ask the reasons why, I simply thank the love we knew for making me who I grew into. Where the river carries sorrow, it also carries grace. And somewhere in that flowing water, I finally found my peace. The river keeps on rolling beneath the crimson evening sky. I tip my hat, whisper your name one last time, and turn toward home with a lighter heart than I arrived.